Good evening, Drew.
Hey, are we doing this for real?
I think so.
We're doing this for real. We're back.
We're back.
We're back after a hiatus.
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Ooh, buddy. It's been a rough couple days.
I okay. You want to talk about it?
Why don't you share your good news first?
Okay. Well, I got my first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Now Jennifer's had it for a while, right? Or no,
Yeah.
wait, she does remote teaching. Or was she
No,
eligible?
she was eligible. Her
Okay.
school district basically was like, we reserved a whole bunch. Here's a link. Sign up through Kroger, and yep, she's been vaccinated. In fact, she's like fully done. She's got both doses. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
She's good to go. But yep.
Okay. All right. So you're getting a second dosage then, I take it.
I am in 3 more weeks. Hold on the 19th of April, so like 3 more weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you is, first of all, how do you feel so far?
I feel fine.
Okay. And then secondly, how did you go about getting this?
I got a tip. So
Okay.
okay, yep, I got a tip. So let's see. So it was some Friday that they opened it up for anyone 40 or over, and I got a tip like late, like it was like around 11. I was actually trying to go to sleep. It was around like 11 p.m. and someone texted me and said, "Hey, Kroger's already accepting vaccines for people over 40, even though it doesn't start until tomorrow." And I spent probably 20 minutes fucking around with Kroger's website trying to get it to take my appointment. But I did. I got it. So yeah.
Well, okay. The reason I bring that up is I'm eligible for the sweet vaccine juice as well, and I was told that when it is my turn, that I would get notified via the Ohio Health MyChart app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apparently, if you visited Ohio Health in the past 3 years, you're sort of in their system, I guess, and you are supposed to be notified when you're eligible. I never got notified, and I feel like there are people who, if you go out looking, and apparently it doesn't take all that much effort, you can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know where to go and get it done.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna Ohio. I'm gonna look for you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, and I could do all this too. I get it. I just
yeah. That's
yeah.
yeah. It's hard to get. If you put in the zip code, all right. I'll. If you want to sign up for one right now, I can get you one. I think, but it's in Chillicothe. So,
I feel like there's a lot of other diseases I can catch on the way to Chillicothe.
I'm just saying, if you go, I mean, the general rule of advice is the redder the county, the more likely you are to go to get something.
Okay.
No, there's no. See, this is the issue I had last time. Is I could get the first appointment, but I could not get through to find the second appointment. Yeah. Yep.
So you have to schedule them both at the same time?
Yes. At least in the Kroger's website, you have to schedule both of them to get it done. Which is actually a fun way, if they don't make a schedule a second, you're getting the Johnson & Johnson. If they schedule you out 3 weeks, it's the Pfizer. And if they schedule you out 4 weeks, it's the Moderna.
And you are...
I got the Moderna. Yep.
Moderna. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on my list of things to do. I haven't been able to really do it. I just haven't figured out how to do it. And I know I could like hang around a Kroger or something and like, y'all got any of that vaccine left, and hopefully get it done that way. But yeah, I just haven't yet. And I need to get it done. But yeah, that's good for you, man. You feel pretty good about it then?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. The Pickaway County. Do you have to be a Pickaway County resident to get this? I mean, again, you're going into Chillicothe, but
Chillicothe. Chillicothe.
Yeah. Oh, this is Circleville. This one's Circleville.
Well, Circleville's a pretty good hike.
Yeah, I mean, it's down where I live, but yeah. PickawayCountyPublicHealth.org if you're inclined. They seem to have some stuff open. Yeah.
My goal tomorrow when I have a few free minutes is I'm really gonna invest some time in figuring out where I can go to get this done, because it's definitely I'm in right now. I feel like if we're looking at the chart of where you should feel about not being vaccinated, we're still in the fear of missing out phase, but pretty soon we're going to be in the ridicule phase, and I want to get it done before we get there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So how long did it take you? Like, you just walk in, here's my arm, poke out?
Yeah, so okay, so hold on. I'm gonna here. I recommend you start here, Drew. It looks like if you go through there, not only does it have some links to like some of the mass vaccination shots, it looks like there's actually some links to stuff, places that still have appointments. So
okay,
I might want to try there.
Are you filling out this form on the behalf of somebody else? No. Is the vaccine recipient age 16 or older? Yes. Access code optional. Okay. I certify I'm at least 18. I acknowledge I have read the following information. Whoa, hold on a second. Should not get it unless an allergist immunologist has determined you safely to DC. Okay, I don't care. Continue. Good news. Give it to looks me. Like you're eligible.
Yep, you're eligible.
Columbus.
Surprise.
To find an appointment, search using the zip codes listed below. If a provider does not appear. Okay. So,
I like to use 43210. It's the zip code for campus, so it gives you a lot of the mass vaccination sites and a lot of stuff that's downtown. So that's actually where I got mine, was at a Kroger downtown.
Okay. So I can get this booked at okay. So hold on. I can either get this at Kroger, Giant Eagle, or Walgreens. I was just at Walgreens yesterday.
Kroger's site does a lot of the mass vaccination areas, so they got the contract for that. So they have more than anybody else. If you go through Kroger, you could try to get the one that's like the pop-up centers or the mass drive-in. The mass drive-in one, they have it in the shot, but. You have to put in the right
COVID
zip code.
Vaccine.
Yep.
Okay, so there's my zip code. Distance, 10 miles. Find appointment. Nope, no appointments. 15 miles. Find appointment. Nope. 20 miles. Find appointment. Nope. Kroger is right on out. Let's try Giant Eagle. Well, this is actually good radio.
I got I did mine at just a Kroger near the brewery in the brewery district. And it was relatively easy. Like it wasn't like there was a lot of people waiting. Like my time, I was the only one in there getting the vaccine. You know, you just give them all your information. They sit down, they give you the poke. You have to wait in a chair outside of the little pharmacy area in the Kroger. So I was staring at the frozen food section for 15 minutes to make sure you don't have a reaction. And it was done.
Oh, I have to sign into. Okay, so Walgreens says it has appointments, but I have to sign in, and I don't want to do that. All right, so there's hot needles in my area, is basically what you're saying. I can
maybe, yeah.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, you may have to be willing to travel and go and drive a little bit. You know, I know someone who went today, and he had to drive like 30 minutes to get his, just because, well, the bluer the zip code, the more likely people are getting the vaccines. But
right, yeah. Okay, well, I'm really happy for you. I know you've been anxious to get that done, and it sounds like kids are going to be available pretty soon too, especially your newly minted 16-year-old.
Yeah, he'll be he'll be 16 come June. So as soon as they're doing tests and stuff to make sure things are safe, and it looks like it's going to be available for him pretty soon anyway. Then we'll just have to wait for my daughter to get that as well. So yeah, I mean, he might get his before he goes back to school. My daughter may be a little after because she's just 11, but
got it.
Yep. It's definitely progressing.
Yeah. Well, so now that you've shared your good news, you want to hear about my adventure?
I want to hear about your adventure, Drew.
All right. For those of you that follow me on Twitter or Instagram or anything, you may have noticed yesterday that yesterday being Wednesday, the 31st of March, recording this on a Thursday, I tweeted from a hospital bed.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. So, all right, here's what happened. I started having some stomach pains over the weekend. So it was I think it was Saturday. I just woke up with some pain in my tummy, and I just thought maybe it was something I ate, because I ate something that was incredibly cheesy Friday night. And that's not something I don't really eat a lot of cheese these days because, diet. But I had a moment of weakness, and I had something with a lot of cheese on it on Friday. So I woke up Saturday, and I was feeling a little kind of yuck. And, I kind of just powered through the day. Everything was fine. Went to dinner, ate dinner. And then when we got home from dinner, my stomach started to hurt some more. But I didn't really think anything of it. Tried to go to the bathroom, couldn't go to the bathroom. So I thought maybe, some poop wasn't brewing.
Yeah.
Had to poop. Yeah. Everybody does it.
It happens. Everyone's at that point in their life where they don't feel good. And then they take a nice healthy shit and they're like,
yeah,
I feel
exactly.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And you know what? And I don't know if we've talked about this on this podcast before, but when it really comes to pooping, quick little sidebar here. When it comes to pooping, I have a routine, let's just say. I like to get comfortable when I'm ready to sit down on a throne and do my biz. Okay. I like to take my shirt off, I like to just kind of feel less encumbered when I'm trying to push that terribleness out of my body. So I like to take my time with it, read a little bit, unless I'm doing actual work on that toilet, because sometimes you have to work.
Yeah.
To get Satan out of you. And I felt like on Saturday and Sunday, I had to put real work in. Okay. So come Monday, still had some pain. It was starting to get progressively worse, but it wasn't hella painful. On that 1 to 10 pain scale stuff, we're talking a solid 2 or 3, but it was nagging. And it felt I would wake up and, it wouldn't feel super great. I'd go out and have breakfast and it would feel bad for a little bit. And then by the afternoon, the pain would be gone. But man, I was having some really horrendous diarrhea along with this, and I just wasn't getting better. So Wednesday morning, I woke up and I walked out to the kitchen as I normally do with my tummy hurting. And I was like, I have to go to an urgent care. I can't keep doing this, because I was getting to the point where I didn't even want to eat, and that's not good, because there's very few things I love more in this world than eating. And I just couldn't eat. I could eat. I'm not going to say I couldn't eat. I could eat. I just didn't feel like eating. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to take a ride up to the urgent care, because it was 9 in the morning and my doctor's office, I don't think was even open yet. And I just thought at this point, I had sort of self-diagnosed myself with an ulcer, because I didn't know what else it could be. I'm a relatively healthy individual these days, and I've been under a lot of stress at work, and the stress of trying to figure out how we're going to get a new house, which that's a whole nother podcast. Holy shit. But yeah, just been under a lot of stress and then other stuff. And it's just been really hard these last few days. So I just thought, oh man, Drew, you've been really stressed out. You got an ulcer. This sucks. And I had tried taking Tums and all this other stuff, and nothing was working. So, got cleaned up a bit, drove to an urgent care here in Dublin. And, I don't know if you've been to an urgent care in the year of our Lord 2021, Paul.
Not in 2021, no.
Okay. So I roll into this urgent care at 2 minutes after they open. I got there right as they open, and there were a couple people in front of me, and they got checked in. And of course, they have the plexiglass up for the receptionists and everything. And I walk up, and man, There's never anything you could say out loud in an urgent care, especially when there's social distancing involved, where you're standing 6 feet away from the plexiglass, and you have to tell the receptionist in a louder than a whisper, I have really bad diarrhea. And it's just not a comfortable conversation. But
I can't stop pooping.
Yeah, help. help, the devil's in my butt. I can't. Yeah, so I told them.
It's like someone turned on a faucet.
Yeah, it's like wiping a magic marker. I told the nice lady there, and they're asking me if I have other symptoms because, hey, maybe COVID.
Right.
And they said to me, okay, what we need you to do is go back to your car and call the number we have listed on our door. And I'm like, excuse me? And she goes, yeah, we're going to have you come in the side door. Because I guess maybe somewhere on their flow chart of COVID, not COVID, maybe they thought I had COVID. So I was like, I already had COVID. Like, it's fine. And they're like, no, just it's our protocol. And I wasn't going to argue. It's 9 a.m. My stomach hurts. I just want to get this fixed. I don't care. I walk back out to my car. I call the location. Literally the same person picked up the phone that I was just talking to. And it's all the same questions. Verify your date of birth. I was the guy in the orange jacket. Like, what do you, okay, I get it. So they bring me in the side entrance. They bring me in the door of shame, I guess. And they walk me into the exam room. They get some vitals. I don't have a temperature. I don't have a fever. I have a temperature. I don't have a fever. Everybody has a temperature, Drew. And then, they do the blood oxygen thing, and I'm in there for a few minutes, and then the nurse practitioner walks in, and I'm explaining my problem. And in very plain English, I'm like, look, I've had an upset tummy, got a little bit of pain, really going to the bathroom a lot, or feels like I have to go to the bathroom a lot, and then stuff doesn't happen, and just explaining my general symptoms to this very nice young woman. And she starts she's like, okay, so lay back on the exam chair. And she starts pushing against my stomach, and she goes, does it hurt here? No. Does it hurt here? No. Does it hurt here? No. And then she pushes on one side of my stomach that, yeah, okay, it's a little tender. It's a little tender right there. And she goes, okay, so sit up for me. And she starts banging on my kidneys with her stethoscope. Does that hurt? No. Does that hurt? No. So she starts breaking it down for me. She's basically like, oh, she doesn't know what this is. Right?
Yep.
And she's like, okay, so she goes, here's what I would like you to do. She goes, you have two options. You can make an appointment with your doctor, because I think the only way we're really going to know for sure what's going on in there is if we get some pictures of your tummy. And I was like, okay. I don't know if you know this, nurse practitioner, but it's impossible to get a doctor's appointment today. I could try, but I'm probably not going to do that. She goes, I know, everybody's busy. She goes, your other option is to go to the emergency room. And I said, this doesn't really feel like an emergency. My tummy hurts, but I don't think this is an emergency. And she goes, well, listen. She goes, there's nothing, it doesn't seem like there's anything physically wrong with you on the outside. And the only way we're going to know what's going on inside is if we get some of these tests ordered. And the hospital, if you walk in there with the symptoms you described to me, will order the same test: blood, urine, stool, CT scan, whatever they want to do. She said, look, I don't know what's going on, but based on the area of the stomach that you said is tender and the symptoms you're describing, it could be gallbladder, it could be colitis, it could be any number of things, right? So I start hearing these words, and time kind of slows down a little bit because it's not really what I had on my agenda for a Wednesday.
You're like, I'm going to go to the emergency room.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I'll go to the emergency room because I want to get this fixed, even if I have to pay a ridiculous copay or some fee to go to the ER. I'm just going to go get this done. And this, mind you, this is all happening in very close proximity to the Dublin Methodist Hospital. Dublin Methodist Hospital is a great hospital. I remember when I had my appendix episode, that's where I went. Literally didn't have to wait in the waiting room. And when I got to the emergency room here, this time, there was nobody there. Walked right in, got admitted to the ER, got in a room within 10 minutes. It was just awesome. And then I sat in that room for 8 hours.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it got really busy. There was a lot of shouting and screaming. I think that some of it was related to birth. Some of it might also have been related to near death. I heard a lot of ambulances and helicopters landing. So obviously, middle-aged man with sick tummy probably wasn't high on the triage list. So I sat in that room for a long time. But long story short, they ran some more tests. They took some blood. They did everything they could do. I went and got the CT scan, got that nice hot iodine injected into me. That makes you feel like you're peeing. A funny story about that. Have you ever had a CT scan with contrast?
No, never with. No, I have not.
Yeah. So for those of you that have had the joy of this, so CT scans are really cool. It's like the big circle you kind of float through, for lack of a better term. But in order to get your insides to show up, what they do is they inject you with I'm assuming it's like a radioactive iodine isotope or something. Yeah. So I already had an IV hooked up. So they injected me with that, and then it's the weirdest feeling in the world, because what I remember the first time I ever had this is when I was getting my CT scan to figure out if my appendix was going to come out of me.
Right.
And spoiler alert, it did. But I remember the tech at the time telling me is like, look, it's going to feel like you're peeing your pants, but you're not peeing your pants, because what happens is that warmth gets into your system and it sort of starts in the back of your throat, like legit back of your throat. You sort of feel it travel down your chest into your abdomen, and it literally feels like you're peeing yourself. And the first time I ever had that done, after the tech injected me with it, I was like, wow, it really feels like I'm peeing. And he said, yeah, you're peeing. And I guess I had lost control of like my bladder at that time. This time that didn't happen, though. Yeah, happy to report.
It may feel like you're peeing yourself, and sometimes it's because you're peeing yourself.
Yeah, sometimes you are peeing yourself. Yeah, it was really weird. But hey, they make those tables out of metal for a reason, right?
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, just wipe it down with some Lysol. It's fine. So anyway, had the CT scan. Doctors were in and out. You know, we sort of reviewed the results. I had a blood test. I had a urine test. And, you know, the doctor came back and said, you know, look, we've run a bunch of tests. Your numbers look fantastic. You're in great shape. You know, we don't see anything wrong with you. And on the CT scan, yeah, you have a couple little cysts, but everybody has little cysts everywhere inside of them. Like, we're usually just one giant cyst at one point. You have a small kidney stone, but it's like sub-millimeter right now. It may come out one day, so good luck with that. But no, there's really nothing wrong with you that we see. And she said the only other thing it could be with you is something that maybe it's viral. And I said, well, I would have other symptoms if it were viral. And she said, probably. And, you know, this is me arguing with a trained medical professional, by the way, right?
Right.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong with my tummy. And she says, well, there's one more test we can do, but what I'm going to need you to do is give me a stool sample. And I was like, Doc, I'm going to level with you. I'm going to absolutely destroy anything you want me to poop in, because it is sheer liquid that is going to come out of me. And I don't know what kind of container you're going to give me that is going to hold the wretched substance that is going to come out of me.
Do you have like a medical grade garbage bag?
Yeah. Is there some kind of cannon that I can poop into? Like something that's going to be able to withstand. So she says, and I said, well, how is this going to work? And she says, okay, here's what you're going to do. What you're going to do is, when you feel like I want to keep you here a little bit longer. We don't need the bed. She goes, what I want you to do is just hang out here a little bit more. If you feel like you have to go to the bathroom, I want you to hit your nurse call button. And what they're going to do is they're going to put a little hat on the toilet in the bathroom that you're going to poop onto. And the key word there, Paul, is poop onto, not into. Okay?
Is it more like a plate?
I didn't realize the distinction between into and onto. I'm gonna try to find a picture of the contraption that I had to poop into.
Okay.
Or excuse me, poop onto. Yeah. Let me see. I meant to find one. I meant to find one prior to our podcast. Let me see if I can find one real quick, because, oh my God, I'm never going to be the same after this. Let's see here. So what I thought it was going to be, hang on. What I thought it was going to be, oh my God, Google Ad Services, stop, please stop. I just want images. I thought it was going to be one of these boys. Oh, you know what? I could buy these on Amazon.
Of course you can.
Turns out, oh boy, my poor algorithm. I thought it was going to be this.
Okay.
So take a peek at that. And that is a bucket with wings.
Okay.
And the idea
it's a urine/stool collector. It looks like something that would fit onto like the narrow end of the front of a toilet.
Uh-huh.
And then it's got a little, recessed area for you to poop in.
Yeah. So just for good SEO, it's the McKesson Specimen Collector Urine/Stool White 26-ounce Model 16-9522, and then in parentheses, original version, not barbecue. But it is, it has like these wings, and the idea is that you put those wings kind of under the toilet seat to hold it in place. The nightmare that I was already concocting in my head was I was like, look, I'm already getting some backsplash with the force of the water that is coming out of my anus. This stuff's gonna splash right out of this thing and onto my butt.
It's gonna be splatter.
There's gonna be some collateral friggin' damage if I poop into this thing. So I was at first relieved and then shocked when I realized that was not the object that I was going to be pooping into.
Or onto.
Onto. I got something that was close to, but not exactly this.
Okay. I'm opening another Amazon link. Oh no. Okay.
So I want you to envision the face mask that you've been wearing out for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And imagine you put that on in water and it grew like those things you used to put in water. What are those called? That came in the capsules?
Yeah, like the little growth, like the instant growth thing. Yeah, you put a little capsule in and you get a dinosaur.
Yeah. This is literally a little flimsy piece of, like, it's flushable. First of all, there's no way you would ever flush this. No, this would
anything's flushable
unless
try hard
maybe, but unless you have like commercial plumbing, this thing ain't going anywhere. First of all, but this is what I had to poop into, and the procedure goes like this: you tell the nurse, "I got to poop." They prep it. You go in and do your business, and then they have to go clean it up. And I'm like, oh my god, these people are not. No, I don't wish this on anybody. I don't wish this on anybody. I don't want to have somebody to go in there and pick this back up.
Excuse me, ma'am. I've left a mess in there for you.
Yeah.
I have successfully ruined a toilet. You're up.
Lucifer has come out of my butt and is in that small paper receptacle that you taped to the toilet for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, were you successful? Did you get poop in the?
No.
No. Okay.
Because I felt like I had to poop. I walked in, saw this thing, and I was like, I can't do this.
I'm fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I don't know what would have happened if I pooped into this thing. I feel like the force of the water coming out of my ass would have pulled this thing directly into the toilet.
Oh.
There's no way. There would have been no way. Now, if I had been making soft serve, I could have done this all day, right? Like if I could just catch a little turd out of my little butt, this would have worked great. But for like raw, liquid evil coming out of my bottom, no, there would have been no way. And I walked out. I went back to my room. I hit the call button. She goes, "Did you go?" And I'm like, I just couldn't go. Meanwhile, I really, really had to go. So I just waited till I got discharged. So anyway, doctor came back in, gave me some prescriptions for some laxatives to help clear out whatever is currently residing in my colon. I still have some tummy pain. They told me to keep an eye on it and follow up with my GP here in a couple days. But I'm really hoping this goes away soon, man. It's just not been a good time. So sorry for the scare. It was just and like the whole time I'm in that emergency room, I'm like, I just shouldn't be here. But I didn't really have any other options because I would have had to wait like a week to get an appointment with my doctor and follow up with imaging. So, yeah, just not a great day all around, really. So I just felt a lot of shame. Well,
I hope you start feeling better, Drew.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And it's weird because we didn't record last week because I had a really bad headache. So, I mean, am I maybe sick? I don't know. Maybe. But I don't have any other symptoms, really. Not running a fever.
Yeah.
It's literally just liquid poop, upset tummy, and I haven't had a headache since Friday. So
good.
Yeah, I don't know at all. That was my big adventure for the week.
Well, thank you for sharing. It was hilarious, and I hope that I don't feel guilty next week when I'm laughing at all your pain and like you come back and go, "Oh, it's awful. My gallbladder imploded." And
yeah,
I'd feel bad, but
yeah, and it's funny. I'm on 3 different medicines right now. One is a laxative. It's literally like a little packet of something. You mix it with something and you drink it.
Is it like Metamucil, like that, like
it's
the
I mean, yeah,
stuff
pretty
you
much.
put in water?
Yeah, this isn't nearly as gritty as regular Metamucil though. This is like I got it from the pharmacy. Like I didn't get it off the shelf. Like it was something they had to call in. And then they gave me some muscle relaxers, which are supposed to help my tummy from contorting. I'm supposed to take those before I eat and then before bed. But I'll tell you what, those little some bitches make me dizzy. Like they make me really dizzy. Not in a good way. Like it's not like you're not listening to me develop an opioid addiction or anything here. Like it literally is not a good time. Like I don't want to take these unless I have to. And then some good old fashioned stool softeners. And all of that to say, coupled that with being told to eat some noodles, just like go crazy with some noodles, get some starch in your belly to soak all this up, or some rice or something. And my farts would make you vomit. Like they are so bad. Like I let one rip last night and the dog got out of bed. Like I was just like it was like the middle of the night and I just felt this intense pressure and I'm like, I gotta fart. And I let this one go. It was the loudest fart I think I've ever had in my life. And Rocky like jumped up and ran out of bed. Like, he's like, I don't know what's happening.
Oh, fireworks, yeah, run.
Yeah, and it just smells awful. It smells so bad. Wow. Okay. Forget it. I'm done talking about this.
Okay.
All right. What else you got for me?
I'm going to move this one up. I started playing a new Vidya game yesterday. In fact, I'm playing it with my son. Have you heard of this? It Takes Two.
I saw that this got released on a bunch of platforms. I have not played it yet, though.
Okay, so I would highly recommend that you find a buddy, and I would preferably find a friend. I mean, I'm assuming you're going to want to play this on the PC, so you're going to have to get another filthy PC gamer to play with you.
Okay.
But Zachary and I are about 10 hours in. I think it's about a 15-hour game or so. It's a masterpiece, an absolute masterpiece.
Really? Okay, so give me the pitch. I mean, It Takes Two. Obviously, this is something cooperative.
Yes, it is a cooperative game. You cannot play it by yourself. You have to have a friend. So not to give too much away, but the gist of it is, it's one of those things where like the game opens with this really unusual cutscene, and you're like, "What? Did I buy the wrong game?" Nope, it's fine. The game starts with a married couple, arguing and deciding to get a divorce. They tell their daughter, who appears, I think she's like 6 or 7. I'm trying, just as a rough guess. They tell the daughter. Daughter doesn't take it well. She goes out into the barn and cries, and somehow her parents are magically transported into these 2 dolls she had made. And then you're on a quest to originally the parents were like, oh shit, we got to get out of these, doll bodies. And you do that by going on adventures in this magical land. And it is just absolutely every second of this game is fantastic. The story is really good, except there's this really weird, cringy Book of Love character who's trying to like get you back together to reconcile the marriage. He's it's a little cringy when he's there, but he moves the story along. But the gameplay is just absolutely fantastic. It keeps introducing new mechanics. You keep doing different levels where you have different sets of powers where you have to work together. And like, it's really like the game, like the name It Takes Two is absolutely true. There is never a challenge that you can do by yourself. And like, there is no punishment for dying. You just basically, you die, you respawn. There's a very liberal, checkpoints, so you never lose that much progress, which kind of makes a little fun thing where like, you're trying to hold something up for your partner to run across, and then as they're running across, you just let it go and they die. and you laugh and you're like, haha, I killed you. And then, because there's no punishment for it, right? You just respawn and you go back through. But the writing is so clever. The gameplay is it's so good, and it keeps introducing, like, it never gets old. You're never like, I'm tired of this mechanic, I'm ready for something else. It's always adding new stuff or new twists. It is just absolutely fantastic. Masterpiece. 10 out of 10. Just
okay.
Just
all right.
spectacular.
You sold me.
Spectacular.
Here's something I find interesting. So you put the link in the show notes, and I went to the website of the publisher, or maybe the developer. I don't know that made. Yeah. I think it's the developer.
It's the developer.
This.
Yeah.
And I looked at the other games they made, and this is following a pattern, because they also made one of the coolest games that I've ever seen. I've never played, but I watched played on YouTube, was A Way Out.
Yeah.
Which is another cooperative game. I think it's a little more mature in theme than maybe what you're playing with Zach right now, but it is also a two-player only game that you need two people to play. And then they also made Brothers, which came out a while ago, and I don't know if that one was as critically received as A Way Out or It Takes Two. But either of those games, I think, are probably are pretty good too. But yeah, I might have to check this out. I have seen people mention this game. I have not seen any gameplay clips of it yet. And I'll have to find somebody to play it with. But yeah, that sounds like a solid recommendation to me.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm playing with my son. When I finish it, I'll probably replay it with my daughter, just because it's just enjoyable. It's so good. And yeah, it's a firm recommendation from Paul. It Takes Two.
Okay.
Play it with a friend.
Okay. Don't play it with a stranger.
I would not play it with a stranger. I mean, could.
Can you? Like, you could just do matchmaking?
I have no idea. I imagine you want to play with the same person throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But
it's local co-op, I take it then.
There is online or couch co-op split screen. It's your choice. I'm obviously doing split screen on my PS5 with my son. So, but yeah, you can play it online or you can play it local co-op. So, yeah, delightful. I think it's like $40. Ooh. Yeah, $40. Yeah,
that's pretty high. That's pretty high for a little indie game. Let me check. It is. Let me check Steam real quick here.
That's what I pulled up with Steam. $40.
Yeah, $40. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, let's see. A Way Out. Yeah, Way Out's only $30.
Yeah. It's worth it. I mean, overwhelmingly positive is the reviews on Steam. Like, it's getting just it's a 90 on Metacritic right now. Like, yeah. It's absolutely terrific, and you can watch, like, it's delightful. It's delightful.
Okay.
Everything from the music, the dialogue, the game, and the gameplay is just top notch. I've easily the best game I've played in a long time.
Okay. All right. It is now on my wish list on Steam.
There you go.
I'll have to pick this up.
There you go.
All right, you had one more topic for me in here.
I did. So, before It Takes Two came out, I was kind of in a video game lull where I didn't have anything new to play, and I wasn't sure what to do with myself. And I kind of have a default video game where, like, I'm itching to play something. I don't know what I don't have anything in particular, but I just want to sit down and play a video game. I just want to, like, see lots of, kill lots of bad guys and just kind of veg out for a bit, kind of the junk food of video games. And for me, that's Diablo 3. I can go back to that game and let's just, like, accidentally put, like, 20, 30 hours into it. And I was just wondering if you had something similar, Drew, a game that you keep going back to, or you just, like, you don't have anything in particular to play. You just always go back to it and just keep playing it over and over again.
Yeah. I've got, there's two that immediately spring to mind for me. The first, and maybe you've heard of this, is there was a game that came out in 1994 for the PC, and that game was called Transport Tycoon Deluxe.
Okay.
It is a business simulator, and if you've ever played, let me ask you this: do you remember, like, back in the late '80s, early '90s, there was a game called A Train? Did you ever play that?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of it.
So, Transport Tycoon, it reminded me a lot of A-Train, and I was way too young to grasp just how deep A-Train was, but Transport Tycoon is way easier, and it is just such a delightful game. There's actually an open source version of this game out there. It's called OpenTTD. I still have my Transport Tycoon Transport Tycoon Deluxe for Windows CD.
Ooh,
and this game,
CD.
this game was developed by Chris Sawyer, who went on to do things like Roller Coaster Tycoon and other games. And if you've ever played those games, they're isometric games where you build stuff. And in Transport Tycoon, what you do is you are building routes for road vehicles, train tracks for trains, airports, and you can set up air routes. You can build boats to transport all manner of stuff. And what you do is you sort of build a transportation empire starting in 1955, and you can play all the way out to basically infinity. But the game stops giving you new stuff like in the 2030s, I believe. I can't remember the exact day. But you know, there are scattered across the map. There are towns, and towns produce mail and passengers, so you can link the cities together to transport those. And depending on how far you transport them, and how fast you transport them, and how many of the things you transport, you get money, which then you save and you reinvest and you expand. And then there's industries that you could chain together. So, like for instance, you can build a station for a train near a coal mine, and then truck that over to a power station for money, or you know, if you go to an iron ore mine, you could truck that over to a steel mill, which produces steel that you can then take to a factory, and then that produces goods that you take back to towns when you're picking up the passengers. So you're building these like big transportation networks, and it's just delightful. The pixel art is just amazing. It's pretty deep, but not super deep. Like you don't have to balance a bunch of books or anything like that. It's just all about managing and keeping on top of your vehicles to make sure they're not obsolete. And then as time goes by, competitors will spring up in the form of CPU players that will compete to take business away from your stations or stops into theirs. So you can do underhanded stuff, like you can basically take over their companies by buying shares. You can do like advertising campaigns to draw people back to your transport company if you're trying to pull the same resources from an area. As time goes by, you also get access to new vehicles. So like in the 1950s, everything's still like steam powered, and then like for trains, and then you get like diesel engines and then electric engines, and then eventually you'll get maglevs and monorails, and it's just such a good game. So like a couple times a year when I'm just sitting around like on a Saturday or Sunday and don't have anything to do, yeah, I'll download the open source version because it works on pretty much any platform, and I'll just dick around in there for a couple hours and, you know, see what I can come up with. It's just such a delightful little game. The music is really good. There's like a mix of different MIDI type soundtrack that plays, and it's just such a delight. I just wasted so much time because I grew up playing games like SimCity and stuff like that I enjoyed, and this was just a game where it was you don't really build the towns or the industries. You just connect them and you make money doing it. It's just a lot of fun. I don't know. That's the first one. And then the second one, and I play through it once a year, is Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yes. Okay.
I play that once a year. I own it on a multitude of different platforms. I have my original PlayStation disc. I own it on the PlayStation Store. I own it on the Xbox Store. If they made it for the PC, and maybe they do, and I just don't know about it, I would own it for that too. But yes, I own it on the Switch, I think too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is it on the Switch? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, I think it is. But I own it for that too. And again, I own it. I have it emulated, right? I've got it on my Dingus that you made me buy. Yeah, it's just a phenomenal game. Absolutely best video game soundtrack that I've ever heard, hands down. Final Fantasy XIV Online is pretty close, but it's the best video game soundtrack I've ever listened to. The gameplay is very addictive because it's very RPG based, where you're leveling up and getting equipment and loot, and just a masterpiece of a game.
Want to know a dirty secret?
What?
I hate that game.
Why? Why do you hate nice things?
I've never got into the Metroidvania kind of style games. They anger me to no end. And that particular game, there's something just about the way the the character moves and the jumping mechanics, like I just, my brain just rejects it completely, and I'm just like, okay. No, bad, do not like. I'm sure it's me. I'm sure the game is fine. I'm sure it's me. It's not me. It's you. It's not you. It's me. Actually, no. I've tried playing it 3 or 4 times. Put a couple hours in each time, and I was like, nope. I'd rather be beating my head with a hammer.
Yeah, it's a really good game, man. And like I love getting it to 100% again. It's just really fun because then you have to, like, you go, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, turn it off, but if you can beat the game and you get a ending. It happens like at 50% through the game, but if you defeat a certain boss, you will get an item that helps you unlock the true secret of Dracula's castle, and then you play through the game again where the castle is upside down.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, that I just thought that was the cool. When I figured that out when I played that, because this was before I went on the internet to like figure out how games work. I remember figuring that out on my own and getting to the upside down castle and just being like, holy crap, this is amazing. And then the enemies are harder, and like you have all your cool equipment that you were totally stomping the regular castle with, and then you get to the upside down castle and you're super squishy again, and it's just crazy. And then there's all the magic moves that you can learn and the forms you transform into. I don't know, man. Like that game, again, once a year I'll get a hankering to just sit down and play that, and I can usually beat it in 2 or 3 sittings. It's I have that whole, like, I have my whole route through the castle like memorized, and it's just fun.
You know what you're doing. You just
fantastic artwork, again, mostly sprite based, but then there's some 3D elements, some really rudimentary 3D elements scattered around in there. But yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the important thing about these games is it's something that you're familiar with, that you don't have to think a whole lot. You can just sit down and just do it, right? Like, yeah. And I would say that a really distant third there is probably Grand Theft Auto Online, just because that game is just chock full of content. And it's just fun to hop in there and goof around for like an hour or 2 at a time. Yeah.
Other games that I play, they sort of come and go. Like Call of Duty is like a seasonal thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I never got into the Call of Duty games, or I did play Grand Theft Auto. I never did the online version of it. It just, I don't play a lot of online games, except when I do, and then I play them obsessively until it's really a problem, and then I don't play them again for a very long time. So like I've played a lot of Destiny in the past, Elder Scrolls Online, WoW, stuff like that, but never the Grand Theft Auto series. I did try Red Dead Redemption Online for a bit, but
I heard that's not good.
It's not good. And actually, I never even finished a single player game for that. I got to one point in the story. I was like, I'm done. I got all of this. I got out of this everything I want to, and then I just stopped. Like it was like I saw like a prologue. I'm like, how long is this prologue? And then it's like another 20 hours. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Done.
Yeah. Whew, boy. Well, I feel another attempted poop coming on. What do you say we wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up. As always, you can find us on the internet, doingtheirbest.com. You can reach us on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can find me on Twitter at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pittfurg.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.